everyone. Welcome. Let me just make sure that everything is in working order before we begin. Okay. So today we are working on this girl right here. Can you see? I love that her lips are sometimes like yellow and sometimes pink. But anyway, yes. Okay, let me just make sure I can see comments. I'm never able to. Hey, Nora, welcome. I just want to make sure you can hear me okay. But before we get started, let me just make sure everything is in working order. Where is it? Okay. I tell you, it's a lot of maneuvering. Nicole, welcome. Happy Friday. I got my scissors. These things, they fall apart. It's weird. And I'm wondering if I put a little E6000 in there, will it hold them in place? I don't know. I like them. They're really pretty. Hi, Gavin. Welcome. Just make sure I got all my utensils. Got my 3.5mm hook. Got my scissors, stitch markers. Shout out to Chastity family. Stitch markers. And what else? I think that's now, don't judge me, but I keep my stuff in a smashing over thing. But I got my stuff in. And, of course, I have my kind of string yarn. Hold on, let me show you. Because that's what we're working with today. We're working with my kind of string yarn. And even though this is brown sugar, what the pattern calls for, I'm working with fudge drizzle today. So let us begin, I think. Hold on, let me just make sure. Okay, and so now I need to pull up the pattern because of course I didn't print it out. So wide on the computer. As you all can tell, I am working from a different space than usual, and here we go. I just want to make sure because sometimes. Okay, and the phone, that's the last thing. All right, let me get comfy. I like to fold up y'all able to hear me okay? Am I coming through clearly? Because I do have the air conditioner on in the background. Hey Zay, you know what? Did I send you and somebody else just recently purchased? I just want to make sure I sent the pattern. Just make sure. Let me check really quickly. But welcome. My name is Anika. I am the artist, the designer behind My Kind of Thing, a handmade company that specializes in one-of-a-kind handmade dolls, particularly dolls of color, and more specifically, black and brown dolls. Today, we are working on the doll that I am calling Sunset, not the ones pictured in the background. Although, I did bring these girls out because I do want to show you all the fact that I finished her cornrows and I added her beads. She is currently missing eyebrows and her earrings and accessories, but her hair is done and I'm really proud of that. And you all know that's a labor of love for sure. Just go there. Make sure my sound is down. Hey Earl Williams, welcome. Okay. Here we go. Alright. Just want to make sure I can see certain things. Okay. Okay, so there are two people that I need to send. Let's see here. Just give me 1 second. I just need to make sure. One second, let me just make sure I'm looking at it correctly. Because just that way I forgot. Realized like I was supposed to send this before I got started. Okay, now we're good. Done and done. Alright. So let me know if you can hear me. Y'all hear me okay? I just want to make sure that I'm coming in clearly. Okay. And y'all have to forgive me. It was too hot for me to wear makeup today, so I'm just like, we're just gonna do regular face. I did some, whatever, but yeah, it's too hot. Okay, so if you have your My Kind of string yarn, like I do, I am using Fudge Drizzle this time around. This is the doll that we are working on today. So this is the design. I call her Sunset. Thank you. Okay, just want to make sure, because y'all know sometimes I speak really low. But this is Sunset. Now Sunset has this head full of stylable curls. She has this really cute dress that is attached, so it's made along with her body. She has these really cute sandals, and look at her toes. And then she has this really cute hat. And so what happens is we can take this little hair bobble out, which is also included in the pattern, right? And we can let her curls down. Right? And we can put her little sun hat on. Really, really cute. So are you ready? Because this is what we're working on today. We're working on the first part, which is the head and shoulders, I believe. Yeah, I believe we're working on the head and shoulders. Yeah, head and shoulders today. And I think we're trying, but we're gonna do like maybe an hour straight. Yeah. Because it is also Honey Dip's birthday weekend, and so that's why I'm actually here with him. I'm supposed to be singing happy birthday. The cake is made already, but I didn't frost it. So we're going to start with our little name. Let me point the camera down some because I feel like my hands aren't on the camera. I like to sit up on the couch. Okay. Here's the other thing though, before we get started. Thank you. I wanted to show y'all this cutie. I gotta take her, hold on, I gotta take her the pins out because I literally just finished up her face last night. Well, when I say finished her face, I finished attaching her eyelashes. And so the pins, and shout out to Chastity Stanley looking out for us sister. She's the reason why I have such a huge supply of stitch markers and straight pins. And so let me just take these straight pins out. Because her eyes the lashes are currently permanently positioned. I need to keep her eyebrows, and I have another component that I'm going to add. But she don't have any eyebrows right now. Don't judge her. But remember, I did her in every color. So we have the final one, which is done with firelight, and I gave her cornrows with beads. Can you see? Cornrows with beads. So I'm just saying, so we have now 7 different 2 ponytail hairstyles. Look at that. It took a long time, but it's definitely worth it. She just needs her eyebrows, and I have not decided on lips, so I'm not tripping about that. But look at that. And her sitting amongst the others. It just looks really, really great. It's finally complete. And then there was this one that I did in all the colors, and I don't know if you can see, but her pony puffs aren't attached. They're just currently pinned. So, and she needs lashes, and I need to finish her. I need to attach her pony puffs, and she also needs her shoes. I haven't figured out what the colors are going to be yet, so that's why she's kind of just in that phase of completion. We're going to do a makeup day, I promise y'all. But in the meantime, let us get comfy and let us review our pattern, shall we? Okay, so you should have the My Kind of Thing Sunset Doll pattern. If you don't have the pattern, the link to purchase the pattern is in the description of this live video. And so that is how you'll be able to follow along with us. Outside of that, you come to kick it and watch, but in order to participate, you gotta purchase the pattern. Okay, so that being said, we're gonna start with the head and shoulders, right? That's the first part, and it's all done in the skin tone. So if you purchase the companion pack, you have the yarn for the skin tone, and you have the option to choose whether you wanted brown sugar or fudge drizzle. And then you want to hear something funny? So I went and did inventory in our storage unit where we store our yarn, and found 60 balls of coconut cream. So remember when I told you all that coconut cream was officially sold out? We now have 60 balls that I was able to find that were hiding behind boxes. So I'll make that available soon. What else? Yeah, we are about to pivot because we're running low on skin tones. We have officially no more brown sugar in the storage unit where we store our yarn. So everything that, as far as brown sugar is concerned, is here. And I believe it is probably about 50 balls of brown sugar left, and then that's going to be sold out. And then for the fudge drizzle, I want to say we have about 100 and something balls left, but that is also going to be sold out. So what the plan is, because business is funny and doing a lot of funny things, we're still, of course, I'm still a doll maker, still going to be making dolls. That's not what the pattern says. Nope, the pattern says you start with 12. It doesn't say you start with 12. It says increase every stitch. So basically, no, it should say, and I'm just looking at this, I don't know how I did that, but basically it's single crochet 12 in the ring. I'm correcting it right now. Sorry about that. I don't know why it came out that way. That must have been me copying and pasting different things. Because sometimes certain things, instead of having to just manually write stuff, depending on what the math is, I can copy and paste from somewhere else. But yeah, we're starting with 12 in the ring. So 1, 2, 3. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And I'm going to tell you, one of the things that I absolutely love about this design is the color arrangement. I was inspired by these colors were inspired by when I was working on our last month's crochet together. I was working on her bag. Hey, Dr. Powell, how are you? I'm so glad you're here. So I was working on the bag for summer night, right? And I had gotten to a point where it was just these colors. And I was like, oh, they came out really, really good. It looks like the setting sun. I was like, I wonder what would happen if I just use these colors. And, you know, in the summer night design, after we go from the purple goes into blue, then to green, and so on and so forth, I decided, like, what would happen if we forego the blue and the green, and we just kept going back, you know, and forth between these colors. And it came out so nice. Like, it just looks so, I don't know, I really like it. And the truth of the matter is that we're so accustomed, right, to seeing crochet, especially dolls and stuff, where they're using, you know, the pastels or the neutrals, and I just really like vibrant neon colors. I do. And because I do, I like to crochet with them. And when I crochet with them, I feel really like, you know, it's just really cool to see the bright colors together. The glasses upside down. You know what, really would be you. Look at that. How cool is that? So, yeah, so that's one of the reasons why my kind of string yarn is these really bright colors, because I think everybody does neutrals, everybody does pastels, especially for doll making and those kind of related relevant things like amigurumi and all of that stuff. Everybody's always doing pastels and stuff. And so I was like, you know what? I want to do bright colors and neons. And so that's how we got here. So that being said, we are working on the head and shoulders of Somerset, or Sunset. I've been calling her Somerset in the head, but her name is, well, I've been calling her Somerset. I didn't actually give her a name. I was kind of playing with the name Twilight, which I just really like. And that's what Sunset actually is. It's Twilight. And so I think, you know, maybe I'll call her Twilight. It's interchangeable. Twilight, Sunset. It's the same thing. So, and the funny thing is that, so Twilight is about a time period of a half an hour between, you know, sun up and sundown. Trying to be more color adventures. Yeah, you got it. That's what I'm saying. Like, you know what, Dr. Powell? It's just so many people who do the same kinds of things, the same kind of color schemes. I just don't want to do the things that I see everybody always do, you know. And I think for me, not just to be different, because I don't do it just to be different. I do it because I also want to see these things, you know. It's not, you know, me just saying, oh, they do that, so I'm going to do this. It's really like, okay, they do enough of that. There's enough of that out there. I don't have to participate in that. Like, I don't have to do that also. And I think that's what it is, you know. In the realm of everybody's doing the same thing, I'm just like, I'm gonna do this a little bit different. Let me just make sure I got my 12. The way some of the colors kind of fade into each other, and it really just reminded me say some. So I was like, you know what? How can I incorporate this into a doll? And here she is with a little hat and her little dress, because I did want the off the shoulder look for her dress. I thought that was cool. And I think it's cool. You know what it made me think of too? It made me think of in Pineco, I don't remember what the main character's name was, but the way she had like off the shoulder dress. And like I said, if you have a companion pack, then you got these really cool vinyl lips that are color change. You got these really cute eyes and lashes, and you got the beads for the hat, and you also got my kind of string yarn in the colors Summer Shine, Firelight is the orange, Pixie Pop is the pink, and Fairy Berry is the purple. And of course you have brown sugar as a skin tone, or you might have fudge drizzle as a skin tone if you chose fudge drizzle as a skin tone. And then you have dragon glass for the hair. And so like I said, this design, I really love the way the yellow looks next to the brown skin. So brown sugar skin with the summer shine. It's so cute. She's really cute. And so that's what we're working on. And like I said, if you have the companion pack, then you got all the cool things you need. You got the eyes that will also, that are perfectly positioned for this doll design. And just make sure I'm not missing any comments, because of course, no comments here come really fast, and it's hard for you to see that. But yeah, I'm excited. But like I was saying earlier, my kind of string is running low on inventory, and we are trying to figure out what can be done about reordering, because with all the stuff with the tariffs and everything, it's just it gets annoying. But yeah, we're gonna make it do what it do. And when I say we might have to pivot, so there are a few things that I want to introduce through my kind of string. I want to also revisit old designs, and we're going to be making clothing for older designs. And here's the other thing: if there is a design that I have that was never like, I realize I need to do naked versions of dolls. When I say naked versions, I just mean just the base design, because I have so many different styles and sizes, right? That's one of the things that's really cool about designing. I have now designed so many different dolls, different heights, different body shapes, different assembly, all of those things. And so I think it's time for me to revisit and, just be designing doll clothes for a little while, because of the fact that inventory is running low, which means skin tones are currently about to be sold out, which means that I can't use my kind of string yarn to design. And in order for it to be my kind of string, a doll design with my kind of string yarn, I have to have my kind of string yarn. I don't want to do too much mixing and whatnot with other companies, because there are differences in textures. And so addition to the eyes and face kits and all of those things, I want hair kits. So while working on that little girl's braids and beads, I'm like, you know what? You gotta do more. You gotta do more bead styles. You have to do more braids and bead styles on YouTube. But does anybody have any questions? Have you looked at the pattern? What's your favorite thing about 1, 2, 3, 4? About this pattern so far, just from looking at her? I really love that hat. Her hair was very, very tedious. And I'm gonna be honest, I was a little bit discouraged. It was sort of what held up the completion of the design. Yeah, the hat. Nicole, I agree that, like, tell me that hat. I really like that hat. I like the way the colors came out. I just really like the colors. And so here's the thing. So even though we're working on the pattern and everything, and we're crocheting her together, y'all know how much I despise, I tell you, I despise repeating a design. And so I'm trying to figure out what I can do with this next one, aside from changing the skin tone. What can be done in order to make it so we're not doing the same exact identical design again? So I wonder what would happen if I added the green and blue and took out maybe the pink and purple, maybe. See what I'm gonna arrange the colors, because I was also even thinking maybe I should just arrange them differently, but it doesn't really work. Like, it won't be sunset if I arrange the colors differently. So I don't know. But I'm currently on row 5. We don't know 5. Yeah, I wanna explore. I really wanna do Aisha again in all my kind of string yarn. Like, I always wanna recreate her, but using my kind of string yarn exclusively. And that would be really cool. It's just so little time these days. I had an idea early on when I was doing this girl's cornrows, and once I put her eyebrows in, I'm also like, I'm gonna give her some baby hair. And the same way that I'm going to give her eyebrows, it's the same theory I have for giving her some baby hair on the sides of her cornrows. Yeah, look at these leaves though. And here's the thing, I didn't have enough flower charms. I didn't have enough flower charms to do all of her braids, so I had to throw in some stars. And I'm mad because I had a whole bunch of these bows at home, and they make really good ends for beads as well. And so for those of you who are in the different courses that I have on Facebook, Facebook has officially deleted all the old videos, all of them, officially deleted them. Now, here's the thing, I have saved a lot of them, not all of them. I just recently discovered that I do not have the cornrows course saved anymore, and so I'm going to have to go in and redo the cornrows course. Oh, okay. Definitely posted in the group. Listen, it's a leisure art, so you take your time and you do it in the pace that you need to do it. It's here. Let me just finish this count for this row. 1, 2, 3. 2. But yeah, so while I have lots of them saved, some of them are not saved. And because some of them are not saved, I'm going to have to go in and redo them. I'm going to have to pre-record them because Facebook no longer allows videos to be permanently live videos anyway. So what happens is I have to go and re-upload the ones that I have saved, and then I have to go into all of the places that don't have a saved live video, and I have to pre-record and then upload them. That's going to take some time, but this is what I wanted to share. I wanted to share that most places where you're learning a skill set and you're taking a course or something for a skill set, you know, leisure arts, like those sites like Craftsy and Teachable. The thing about those spaces is that usually they give you a time limit on how long you have access. My videos had unlimited access, meaning once you purchased them, you had access to them whenever you felt like it. Some of these courses have been accessible for years. So I'm gonna need some of you all who maybe are new here to have a little bit of patience with me and because realistically, I should have known that it wasn't gonna be forever. But in my mind, just trying to be naive and be optimistic, I'm like, well, what other reason would, I never anticipated that Facebook would be like, we're deleting your videos. And then when they announced this, the process to try to retrieve them was so freaking daunting. Not even daunting, it was so difficult. I wound up having to kind of give up. Yeah, I wound up having to give up with some of them because the way that they had it set up to even try to retrieve them, I wasn't able to do it. The thing I should have kind of been alarmed about was a few years back, because when I used to do my videos and upload them, I had the option to save them, and that's why I have a lot of them saved. But at some point, I want to say around maybe around 2023, 2022, around 2022, there was no longer a save option. And so it was all like, okay, so I can't save these videos. Fine, if they're just going to be here, that's fine. I don't need to save them if they're here. could have never anticipated that they would eventually be deleted. And I'm like, I don't know what the reason is that Facebook is doing this, but what I do know is even though I put in a lot of this work, it's established a lot of what we've done as My Kind of Thing University. My mother, her mother told her, she's been telling us since we were little, nothing lasts forever. Something might last a long time, but nothing lasts forever. And I used to always feel like, oh, that's such a pessimistic view to have about anything, but it's also true, and so we've had a really, really great run with these courses and these crochet alongs, and while I am working diligently to re-upload the ones that I have, there are going to be some that I'm going to have to do completely over, and one space in particular I'm kind of kicking myself about because I didn't write down anything for it. I just kind of went off of what I wanted to teach you all. The doll designing / making course. I had 4 different versions of dolls in there. And one of those versions, I can't remember what it was, but I really liked it. And I meant to write it down, but I don't think I did. And even if I did, there's no way for me to find it and know it. So some things might be lost forever in the sense of it's not going to be available again. In which case, if you were part of this thing, then you were amongst those who are lucky and fortunate to have been able to take advantage of the fact that we had we still have great information and stuff, but I mean like that, for instance, I did not write that down. And I feel a way about it. But either way, we're going to press on. I actually am looking to kind of do things a little bit differently. It's one of the reasons why we're here on YouTube instead of in a group, and no more for lives in the groups as far as they're related to crochet alongs, because Facebook doesn't allow it to stay and it doesn't allow me to download it. So it's like, even if I went live, there's no option for me to download the live so that I can re-upload it. So it's all of that is super annoying. They have a 30-day limit as to how long live videos stay up, and then they get deleted or disappear. And there is no option to save. I'm like, I don't know what their angle is or what they're working on, because I also think that there's probably going to be some sort of option for certain people to maybe buy back their, I don't know. I'm just thinking all the time as a New Yorker, they're just always finding ways to get money and to make money and to get money from you. And so I'm just thinking that this is going to be one of those things that'll lead up to, we're gonna, you can have this back, or you can do this if you pay this premium, this, or, like that's what I'm thinking. It's probably going to be something along those lines. But that being said, I have a lot of videos that are saved, and I have them. The thing is, they're hours long, y'all know that. They are hours worth of, like they're multiple hours each. So uploading them is a process in itself. There was a couple that I was able to upload successfully and be like, okay. And then I had videos that, for some reason, trying to retrieve them to upload them was giving me an issue too. So, like I said, it's, it feels like it's one of those when it rains it pours kinds of things. Because, like I said, now you are all of the videos, all of the lives that I conducted are going. Perfect Pom Pom. The first My Kind of Thing University videos gone forever. Well, not forever. Let me not say forever. They're not going forever, because some of them I have to look for the Perfect Pom Pom class. I believe And I'm not really tripping about that because that technique, as useful as it is and whatnot, it's not a big deal for me to re-upload it. You know, so it's just a part of yeah, the thing about it is, I think my screen record has a time limit. Because I tried to do that once too, and it was just like, what? I had been going through behind the scenes trying to make sure that I wouldn't be subjected to the foolishness that Facebook has decided to do. But, you know, just kind of got to suck it up. You know, when you don't own a platform, you are subjected to their rules and regulations. And so I can't talk too bad about it, especially since we benefited so much from it for years. So I can't really talk too much trash. I just wish there was an easier way to have retrieved my lives, because I really went through the proper channels that they had recommended, because they gave us a deadline and all of that stuff. And even with all of that, it just was this whole weird, you know, you can only do like a few at a time, and then the things that they were trying, the things that they basically were allowing me to see that I can re-download, I'm like, I can't even, I wish there was the option to just, or I had the option to just go into the group for the live, where the live was, and just hit download. That was not a thing. So it just, and I think that's part of it, right? Part of the struggle, part of the survival, right, is having the endurance and patience to do certain things. I'm realizing that, you know, it's an endurance test, it's a patience test, you know, it's a focus test. Some things, they annoy you so bad, you're just like, F this, I'm not doing this, you know, or this is too much. And it kind of slowly like erodes your resolve, you know, and that's what bothers me. You know, sometimes it's like, why, for something so simple, or it's supposed to be simple, are there all of these different steps, and then these steps aren't necessarily clear. And so now it's like, it's just so many things, and it's like, when you want to do something that seems like a simple thing to do, when you go and do it, it's like, so that's the rub. So like I said, we're gonna be fine. My kind of thing university is still gonna rock. It's gonna take me some time to retrieve the videos that I saved, upload the videos that I saved, because the hours of stuff, like, I don't know if you all saw, but in the braids and coils group, the chorus and the pony puff chorus, I was having such a hard time just re-uploading it. It kept on like not uploading, and then it finally uploaded like 3 or 4 times. I don't know. It's just, yeah, it's annoying. It's very, very annoying. And I think that there are things that are specifically set up to be annoying. And I'm not saying Mark Zuckerberg on our Facebook is like setting things up, but I'm always suspicious. You know, I don't trust him. I think even simple things, or things that are supposed to be simple, they make things so difficult. So difficult. And it's annoying. So basically, if you're working alongside me, we are working on the head portion of this design. The funny thing is, when I finally finished the design, right? Again, just like last month's design, our last crochet month, I felt like her head was kind of short. This time, instead of OD and adding like 4 rows, I just added one. So in the pattern, you all have the updated version. So her head is going to be like 1 row longer, because when I went to put on her lips, I felt like it was still too much, they were still too close to her nose. I don't really like lips opened up like that. I prefer the lips to have, you know, a good amount of space between the nose and the lips. You know, so I added another row, and I'm gonna see if it works out. It should work out fine. But yeah, heads and shoulders today. Let me see. Oh, you know what? It's supposed to be heads and shoulders, ears and wig cap today. But we're gonna see how much we can get done in an hour and 15 minutes. I don't want this to be long like the others, because I'm realizing too, some of these are just too long. We're gonna designate an hour. I thought initially it was going to be going forward, but I'm not realized already. Which we're ready. Yeah, Dr. Powell, you know, like that's the thing. Everybody got to hustle. Everybody got their, I don't want to, in my mind, it's a gotcha, you know, you leave me kind of situation. And not everybody has that. It's just really the way capitalism works, especially as a New Yorker, right? Provide a service that people become dependent on, even if they didn't need it before, right? Because we function fine without Facebook, right? But Facebook became like a main stage for running a small business or any kind of business. And the majority of the business that I do, that is my kind of thing, my kind of thing university, and my kind of stream, the majority of it is Facebook. Because there are, last I checked, over 2 billion users worldwide, right? What better place to advertise and have your work and your stuff up for people to see, for people to know about your product or your business or your services. And for the most part, it's free, right? And that's what I'm saying, like, I can't even be really, really mad, and I'm really not. I'm not mad. I'm just like, no, you gotta pivot. That's all. And it's annoying, but I'm not mad about it, because we have had a really great run. My Kind of Thing University was established in 2017, April of 2017. We are now in July, going on August of 2025. So for 8 years, the My Kind of Thing University has been available to you all for whatever low price you paid indefinitely, meaning you paid one time and you've had unlimited access to the content that you purchase. So the thing about it, and this has always been my philosophy, especially for pricing, I've gotten much more comfortable in explaining, or even sometimes not explaining, that my courses, my dolls, my patterns, they are not inexpensive, meaning in the grand scheme of whatever the market value is for these things, there are legitimate reasons why I price them the way I price them. And I'm not pulling anybody's arm to take any of the courses. Either you want them or you don't. And I'm not mad if you don't. If it's too much money for you, that's fine. You know, we don't go back and forth about the prices that businesses set for their products. We don't. There's no place or space where you go into a store and you want to buy something and it's expensive and you then ask to speak to a manager or the company owner or whoever owns the product in the store to curse them out or have a conversation about why this thing is out of your price range. We don't do that. And we don't do that in stores, we're not going to do that here. The reason I've set mine the way that I've set them is because this is my livelihood. I am a single woman who lives in New York City. And so it has to make sense for the amount of time that I spend in order for me to be compensated properly for that. The other component is that I teach things and techniques that you will not be able to find anywhere else. That's the other thing, which is really important. Because there are no books that teach cornrows for dolls. There are no books that teach braids and beads for crochet dolls. There's no books for that. There's no patterns for that, even now. You know, I offer some techniques and insight that you cannot just go and get on YouTube. And that's another reason why you won't see my courses and things here on YouTube. You have to purchase access to them. And currently they're on Facebook. Once I get my life together and figure out how Patreon works, we can do it like how these podcasters and all of these other YouTubers do. We have the content that is here where everybody is welcome to see and participate. And then we'll have the paid subscription content. And that is where I intend to put all of the things that I've been teaching for years. And there, with the paid subscription, you can then have unlimited access and we ain't got to worry about somebody saying, uh-oh, we're deleting this, you know? So I'm working on that. So just bear with me because there are still things that I want to teach and share that are new that we haven't done yet here at My Kind of Thing University. And so I'm really excited about being able to provide that for you all. And like I said, you know, at any given point, you have the option to say, no, I don't want to do this. You know, I think it's the funniest thing sometimes when people have come into my inbox and have, you know, gotten really nasty with me about my price. Recently, I had a whole back and forth with somebody. And what I realized after doing all this back and forth, I was confused. I'll explain. Let's see where we are though before I go off on that tangent because I didn't want to share it with y'all. And it's funny because she had a name that one of my alumni students, same name, but it's clearly a different person. Let's see, 7, 18. So basically, this person purchased the Matu Maini companion pack, right? Now in the My Kind of Stream Etsy shop, you can get the companion packs. The companion packs do not include the pattern, and it says so in the description of the listing. And big letters, all caps with stars, highlighting, pay attention. It's hard work, Dr. Powell. I'm trying my hardest to keep it going because it got real this year. It says in the listing, This companion pack does not include the pattern. It says it in the description. And then it has a list of everything that the companion pack does have, right? And I still understand that sure there are people that maybe don't read. And if you don't read things that you purchase, that really is on you. But I'm not a jerk. I understand sometimes we see things, we get excited and we just get it. Whatever, that's fine. I'm not even above refunding you like, oh, okay, it's a mistake, you made a mistake. That would have been the course of action if this person had reached out and said, where can I find the pattern? I provided the link for the landing page because the landing page is likely where she purchased the companion pack from, because it's all on that landing page. Side note, Etsy has a policy that makes it so that, or their AI, because that's another thing, everybody's using AI to do the work that humans are supposed to do, and the AI makes mistakes that are super annoying to me because, again, there is a human component that AI will always be missing. And so the AI that Etsy has monitoring conversations and correspondence basically assumed that I was, through my Etsy shop, redirecting people to not use Etsy to make purchases. And yeah, Dr. Powell, we gotta catch up. And so Etsy kind of sent my kind of string, kind of reprimanding, because basically their AI picked up the fact that I put this link in the conversation, but the link was in response to a question pertaining to the listing that was purchased and listed there on Etsy, but AI read it as some sort of malicious activity of trying to redirect customers and possibly scam customers. AI gets on my nerves. All the people that are championing it are annoying me. That being said, that wasn't even the issue. When I sent her the link, she still was confused. I'm thinking, okay, wait, is she not reading things or whatever? I'm thinking that she is having trouble understanding like where the purchase is. But it turns out she goes, I just want the pattern. I don't want to join the Facebook group. I don't want to be in the Facebook group. So she's thinking, like I said, you can still purchase the pattern. You don't have to join the Facebook group. You don't have to do that. You can still purchase the pattern. She then goes, well, I don't want to spend that kind of money for just the pattern. I said, then you don't get the pattern. Like, what was funny to me is that I didn't understand where right was, because the price is there. You don't have to join the group if you don't want to, but the price includes the pattern. She felt like if she wasn't going to join the group, then the pattern should be less. I'm like, that's not how that works. There are people that purchase this knowing full well this is the price for the design that they want. And you have the option to go into the Facebook group and watch the live assembly. This is before deletion and all of that other videos. Don't worry about that. Right? All these things. And she was livid. She was totally annoyed and upset. And she goes on to call me names and things. Here's the thing. I do the correspondence for my kind of strings Etsy shop, but Honey Dip's name is on the shop because he's a partner. And he does all the shipping stuff. And so his information or his name comes up as the shop owner. So I think this person thought that she was talking to him and she was being real nasty. So when I explained to her, because she said something about buying from my kind of thing, and I'm like, well, this is my kind of thing. Did you think you were talking to Brandon? That's why you're being rude? Because you were being rude and nasty, like calling, I don't want to pay that much money for it, and you're an idiot. It was nasty. And I was like, hey, So here's the thing, you don't have to pay anything. I said, you can also get a refund for the companion pack if you send the companion pack back. You can send the companion pack back, and if it comes back in a condition it was sent, then I can refund you your money completely. I will. And she was just really, really nasty. Right, the group is a bonus. It definitely is a bonus. But one of the other things that I leave off because of the group is, you know how for my actual patterns that are fully patterns, I usually give an assembly portion that explains all of the things that the video shows you. I provide a verbal written version of what the video shows you for the patterns. To avoid having to always do that, the videos were fun to me. Like, let's do this on camera so you can see in real time what the pattern requires you to do to put the pieces together. So, but this lady, she was nasty. She was so nasty, and I told her as much. Okay, we're at 18. Let me just make sure. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yes, 18. And I told her as much. I told her that she was being really, really rude. And she said she was going to report me to Etsy. And I said, please do. Because you got the product. You didn't read the description. And then when I supported you and helping you to understand how to purchase, you had an attitude and you were nasty because you didn't like the price, you didn't agree on the price. Because she went into this whole thing about why is your pattern, I think the pattern for Matu Maini is like $15 or $16. And I didn't even go into details about why it's that. I just said my patterns are priced the way they're priced. Either you want it or you don't. Like, what are we talking about, man? Like, what is the attitude for? I am not forcing your hand. I'm not twisting your arm. I'm not putting a gun in your head. You would absolutely have the option to say, yeah, this is too expensive. I don't want this. You've always had that option. You have that option every day to say, this is out of my price range. This is out of my budget. I'm good on that. For some reason, people are offended by other people's pricing. And we don't do that. We are not going to do that. I see that as a regular conversation. Right. But the other thing too, Dr. Powell, that I realized too, which also helps me to not take things personal, the average person isn't a business owner. Because the average person isn't a business owner, they don't understand pricing anyway, even if I explained it. You know, another thing that has been like murdering us financially is that since we started My Kind of String, the place where we store our yarn has increased hundreds of dollars. And business-wise, when storage or any kind of overhead increases, the product price is supposed to increase with it so that it lessens the feeling of the fact that these things are increasing as far as operations are concerned. And we did not adjust to that. So that was another thing that we're kind of like working through and maneuvering with, because the bottom line is that the cost to even have the business is now, it's changed, right? So with that being said, again, it's pointless sometimes to explain to people the reason for pricing, because the true reason for it doesn't mean anything to the average consumer. I just want what I want, and I want it to cost what I need it to cost in order to get it. And the place where people got me effed up is the conversation or the being insulted because my price range doesn't suit you. That's where you got me effed up, because I don't care. And when I say I don't care, I mean like I run a whole business. And I had to explain to this woman I sent her a screenshot of the group and the amount of people that purchased the course of the crochet companion pack along with the pattern without, I've never had anybody complain like her. And I had to explain that to her. Oh, this is weird. That's why it was so strange to me, because I legit didn't understand what her complaint was initially. I didn't understand that she felt like because she didn't want to join the group, the price of the pattern should go down and I should make some sort of special pricing for her. It took me a minute to realize, oh, is that what you're saying? No, that's not an option. Right, and she was nasty. She called me a couple of names. She, just was real nasty. And I said, ma'am, I don't even understand your hostility. I don't even understand your hostility. I don't understand your anger. You don't have to buy the pattern. You got some great yarn and low pieces and stuff there. Use the yarn to make somebody else's doll with it. It's still good yarn. It still came with these really cool earrings and beads and all of these wonderful things. Came with all of these wonderful things. Use it for a different design. But she was nasty. She was rude. She, and I didn't hear from her after I told her, now you're done. Like, I'm done with you. But I say all this to say, right, that business gets difficult, and there are so many components to business that I am still learning and maneuvering with. And one of the things that I no longer deal with or do a whole bunch of back and forth conversation about is pricing. It's a waste of time. Your business, your pricing should function in a way where you understand the math, that this is how much I have to sell this item or this product for in order for it to be worth my while to have done it, in order for it to have covered the cost of materials and paid for the labor. Because some of us think, oh, if I pay $30 for materials, then our product can be $35. So you're turning a $5 profit. That's not how these things work. That's not how these numbers work. And so again, depending on where you are, what you're selling, how much time it takes you, how much skill it takes you, all these factors are very, very personal. So every time somebody goes, well, what should I charge? I don't really have a straight answer for anybody that asks me that. Because again, my pricing has a lot of different factors factored in. There is what I call the exclusivity tax, meaning I do things that nobody else does. And when I say nobody else, I mean that. The reason why I can say that with confidence is because some of these things are techniques and things that I've created specifically for this thing. So I know that nobody else is doing it. I know that nobody else is going to do it this way. So the exclusivity tax covers my advanced skill set, so much so that I'm an innovator, but it also covers my creativity, right? So I'm also doing a one-of-a-kind design, meaning I'm not doing the same doll again. When you ask me to do this, and you ask me to do this way, in these colors, all of that stuff, it is for you. I'm not doing, even if I wrote a pattern for what I did for you, it still wouldn't be the same. There would be things that I would just do differently. It's never going to be the same. And so again, that's part of my exclusivity tax. Then we can talk about how much the materials cost. And I like nice materials. I like that really cool stuff. In addition to just the basic yarn and stuffing, like my eyes, legit. Y'all know how we get down over here. What else? Just, and the skill set, again, the skill set. I am an advanced crocheter. When I say advanced, I actually took the course at FIT to become a certified crochet instructor. And I paid for that too. So I'm just saying, like, there are different factors that when I set my specific pricing, I factor it in, and you should too. These are things that you need to think about. What is the cost of living and where you're staying, where you're at, right? What is minimum wage? And I'm going to tell you, because I'm advanced, I don't start at minimum wage. My hours aren't minimum wage because I have an advanced understanding of this skill set. So we're not doing what is $15 an hour here in New York City. We're not doing it. My hours ain't worth $15. I'm sorry. We don't do that. So all of these things are really, really contingent upon you. That being said, I'm up to row 19. Now 19 is where we begin our decrease. So, but does anybody have any questions? Any questions? I hope I'm not talking too much. Yeah, she was really nasty, Nicole, and we definitely don't do all of that negativity. We don't, and it's something that I've never done in the My Kind of Thing University, because in a teaching and learning environment, ain't no space for that. We don't have space for it. And a space where there is learning and teaching going on, we don't entertain that. And anybody who's been in any of the My Kind of Thing University courses, y'all know how we do. It's not a thing. It's not a thing. I can tell you that in all of the years that My Kind of Thing University has been operating, there may have been maybe 1 or 2 incidents of where it got a little a little funny. But we end that real quick. We shut that down real quick. And when I say we, I mean myself and some really, really, hardcore MKTU people. We're a peaceful bunch. We like learning, we like crocheting, we like having a good time, we like laughing and joking, and we like encouragement and support. And that is the space that we've created because we did it together, so, and that's really important from an education standpoint. Any space where there's learning going on and the exchanging of information and ideas, we don't do all that. So I wonder if adding that row to of course, talking and counting up weeks. Let's see. What's that going on again? Yeah, I know I don't do all that. I could have let that rock, but that's not what the town says. So I'm trying to do right. 3, 4, 6, So how are y'all feeling about this? I believe so that some of you should have been receiving your yarn companion packs today. Some of you might receive them tomorrow. But yeah, for the most part, you should all have your things as we shipped. I think we shipped on Tuesday. Monday, Tuesday. Yeah, so you should be receiving your yarn if you haven't already received it. So just like with the summer night doll, as I look at sunset here, And I'm like, I love these colors together. They're really beautiful. They really are. But I'm not doing them again. So I have to figure out a replacement. And I feel like I'm gonna do, I was thinking jewel tones, because jewel tones are really pretty. The jewel tones that I have would be the Fairy Berry, the Pixie Pop, the Mermaid Water, but I don't know, I have to see, because you know what kind of throws it off? The Mermaid Water. So I don't know if you all have noticed, of all of them I kind of string on, the Mermaid Water is kind of like the odd one out. It's not a neon. It kind of falls into the category of pastel. I just like pale aqua. It's my favorite shade of blue. And that's the blue that I wanted to be a part of my yarn company, because aqua, turquoise, that family of blues, that also looks really, really great with brown. And if you notice the My Kind of Thing University logo, the My Kind of Thing logo, the My Kind of Stream logo, all has teal inside of the logo. Our company colors are teal and brown. And so I just was like, I wanted that shade of blue. So that's how that goes. So that's why I'm like, when I do this next arrangement of colors, I have to decide how I'm gonna do it. But now I'm gonna load 20. I'm on 120. So what is the turnaround time for face kits? So the turnaround time, it really, like, usually I really try to ship within 2 to 3 days, but depending on other orders and what's happening within myself and Mr. Stevens, because he's the one who actually gets the stuff out, it's usually no longer than 7 days. So, and you know what, I looked at yours, Nicole. I believe yours is packaged up and shipping. There were some other face kits that were going up also. But usually face kits are a little bit different because they're through PayPal, and so sometimes, admittedly, sometimes we don't really receive or see the orders coming. We have to actually look and check for them sometimes. So we kind of, I don't want to say we miss them, but sometimes we see them late, so we don't get notifications in the same manner that we get notifications for the shop. That's another thing that's about to shift. So here's another really cool thing that we're adding to My Kind of String. So the face kits, now that we've kind of established that we keep combination. Yeah, the thing that throws off the jewel tone is the Mermaid Water Dr. Bow. And then I was thinking, instead of doing the 4 colors, then maybe just do the 3 and rotate with those 3. But it would require too much paying attention that I don't think I have the patience for. I don't know yet. We'll see. Because I might still do it, because the colors look really great together. It's just the blue sometimes. That blue, I love it. It's a beautiful blue, but it always just seems like a little out of place for my eyes. And when I say out of place, I mean like one of these things are not like the other kind of thing. You know, but it looks really good with everything else. So it's not horrible. It's just, you know, for the purposes of continuity favorite shade of blue. It might be my favorite, my kind of string on color. I don't know. My favorites change. But yeah. So that's what I wanted to introduce y'all to, or not introduce, but to get y'all like ready and excited for. So we're going to be putting the option for custom cuts inside of the shop. Because I have had so much overstimulation, meaning, you know how when you're learning something new and you're excited and you start getting all the materials for the new thing that you've learned, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna get this color and that color. And the same thing happened to me with creating custom lips and eyes and things. Right now, y'all notice that I only have brown as the option for eyes. I'm a black girl. That's what I was thinking. Most people in the world have brown eyes. The majority of the people on the planet have brown eyes. So I, been doing brown eyes, right? Now lips, that's a whole nother thing. The main reason why I got a Cricut Maker is because I wanted my own lips. I wanted my own colors. I wanted my own style and kind. And so I wound up really falling in love with 3 different styles of lips. And then I started falling in love with all these different kinds of vinyl. So I want to make the option, and it's going to be in the Etsy shop. And this is one of the ways in which we're going to pivot as we try to get the finances together to do another order to re-up on skin tones and to possibly even introduce some new colors. The custom cut option, which is basically going to be the different listings for different style of lip and different sizes of lip and all the different colors. Because when I tell you I got colors that y'all are going to be like, oh, I need that. Oh, I need that. I don't even know what doll I'm going to make, but I need that lip color. Or I need that, or I need that eye color. So basically, in addition to what we have already established, because these face kits and things are really, really intricate and important. They're an important component to creating dolls the my kind of thing way. I like the option of like just different colors for lips. Maybe you want your lips to match the doll's outfit. And here's another thing, I'm a huge fan of hair that's different color on dolls. I toned it down because the majority of people like brown and black for hair and doll making. When I first started out, I rarely used it. I haven't seen them and I already know I need them all. Listen, Nicole, when I tell you, here's the thing. I was so excited when I realized I finally figured out how to cut these lips clean, because that was the other delay. Figuring out what setting on this cutting machine will cut the different vinyls and all of that I need without me having to go in with the X-Acto blade and go behind the Cricut, or just messing up my material to the point where I can't even salvage it. It was such a labor. That was one of the things that took such a long time for us to introduce lips and lashes and things, because I could not establish the correct setting to do large amounts of cutting. Like, sure, a few will come out good, and then some of the machines start tearing stuff up. I'm like, oh my gosh. I finally figured out the setting, finally know how to use what to do for what, because I also use different types of vinyl sometimes. Most of them have the fabric backing, but there are different types of fabric backing. All these things matter. That being said, in the processes of learning and figuring out trial and error, I legitimately gathered so much beautiful material. And that was the other thing, having really good material and not wanting to mess it up. So there was also that, like, I can't do it, I gotta, And so now that I finally have all of that figured out, what I want to offer for you all in the shop is going to be the option for custom cuts. That'll allow you to have a certain amount of, you can decide how many of a thing you want, what color lips, lashes you want, or eyes you want. What else? The shape is all like the 3 different styles of lips. I have the open lip. I don't have an example here. I have the full lip. I think that's what she has here. And then I have the classic lip, which is like the basic lip that so this is the full lip. It has like almost like a, you know, like a kissy component. Not quite kissy, but it's just a full lip. And so I'm just saying, we got small, we got medium, and we got large versions of that. And I have finally, but I have the numbers or the measurements for each one changes depending on the, like, you know, they're all different sizes because of their shape. It's a whole thing. That being said, that's going to be an option for you all. You can customize your cuts. So if you want like the full lip, you want the full lip, and maybe you want 10 of them, maybe you want 20 of them, maybe you want the full lip, a small full lip, and you want them in different colors, or you want them in one specific color. Those are options that I want to give you. And the problem for me is, like, sometimes, like I said, I get overstimulated. I get too many ideas all at once. And that's what usually keeps me like all over the place. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I know we normally take a break and then come back and continue, but I feel like that's too much. So what we're going to do now is we're going to end the live for today. I know we said we're on camera and we're doing the head and shoulders with cap and ears together on this live. But I have what is going to be the head and shoulders of the doll design. We're going to end this here. And what you're going to do off camera, and you have between today and early Sunday to do it, is you're just going to finish the heads and shoulders and the ears and wig cap off camera. You have the pattern. If you don't have the pattern, the link for all of that is in the description of this live. Thank y'all so much for crocheting and kicking it with us. Like I said, join in at any point. It is Alicia Art. The link for the pattern is there. You absolutely can purchase the pattern there and jump in at any time, even if you're watching on replay. How about even maybe next year? You know, unless YouTube starts that foolishness with deleting videos, I don't know. But in the meantime, thank y'all so much for hanging out and participating in the Sunset Doll crochet along. She's gonna be really cute when we finish. And make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to the My Kind of Thing YouTube channel. Make sure you comment if you're watching on the replay. And I will see y'all on Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're back here and we're doing the next part of this crochet together. All right, y'all have a great evening and I will see y'all Sunday. Bye.